So we're not through talking about business, and we're not through talking about uh, financial literacy, home ownership. That's why I'm so proud to bring on Shirvan Joseph to the show, and he is the diversity outreach manager and mortgage loan officer at Fitzgerald Financial Group. Mr. Joseph, welcome to Win TV.
Well, thank you, Denise. It's a pleasure to be here, and we appreciate the opportunity to be with you and the Washington Informer. Great
And we're
honor
not
for us.
having any technical problems right now, so that is wonderful.
It is absolutely wonderful. I have to tell
Yeah.
you, Shevry is amazing. So thank you again.
So tell me about the Fitzgerald Financial Group. Generally, what is that? What do you all do?
Fitzgerald Financial Group we're a mortgage banker. We're a
Mm-hmm.
division of Town Bank Mortgage. There are about 5,000 banks in the United States, and Forbes magazine earlier this year named us number 9th performing bank in the country. So we're based out of Virginia Beach. We're up and down the East Coast, and we are in some Midwest states. And I'm talking about our mortgage arm and our mortgage division. But Fitzgerald Financial is around the Beltway, and again, we perform up and down the East Coast as well.
Wonderful. Well, for full disclosure, I have to let our viewers know that Town Bank is a supporter of the Washington Informer and also advertising with us. So we're really even super excited to have you on to talk about about the series of virtual seminars and the podcast that you're going to be making available to folks around the DMV. Can you talk about that?
Well, yes, a series is important for many reasons. If people of color hope to close the wealth gap and the home ownership gap, which is currently at 75% for white Americans and 44% for Black Americans, according to the U.S. Census Bureau, it's imperative that people of color receive an accurate education on the value of home ownership and understand the process of how to become a homeowner. It is absolutely critical that we focus and we learn. Just in my opinion, the problem with home ownership and that wide gap and the wealth gap is because of the process. We need to make sure our folks understand how the process works and how to prepare to purchase, how to prepare to receive a pre-approval. I think all of that is critical in the process itself. It's something that folks are not getting accurate information, a lot of misinformation out there, and we need to understand that there's so much to learn in these seminars that will assist not only people of color, white Americans, whomever wants to chime in, but our focus right now is making sure people of color understand that the process is not so daunting that they can't have home ownership, or they cannot be part of growing their wealth as well.
So, Mr. Joseph, one of the things I'm wondering if you'll be talking about, I'm sure you will in your podcast. I mean, this is an interesting time, right? The challenges that homeowners have faced over the years. One, these loans that they got that ballooned, and a lot of foreclosures because people really couldn't afford the homes that they purchased. And then the values of the homes have gone up tremendously.
We're
Now
inflated,
we're
sure.
maybe looking towards a recession, even though the president claims that it isn't. But the interest rates are still going up, and the values of homes, I think, may be coming down. I'm not sure, but will you get into those conversations? Because are we entering a period when it's a good time to buy?
You know what, and from our perspective, it's always a good time to buy, because while you're waiting for the recession, we're certainly trying to fight inflation right now, which is the reason that prices are going up and goods and services have gone up. However, one of the reasons that you can't sit on the sidelines is what you mentioned, is that interest rates are going to continue to go up until they fight inflation to a certain degree and get it under control. We don't know where this is going to bottom out at. So it's critical that if you're sitting on the sideline waiting for this, you could price yourself out of the market by not participating. The good thing is that it's better to own than to rent. So if you own a property and let's say the rates are it is what it is at this point, then you could refinance and get it lower once it comes around. But at least you would have built up equity in that time span. About 6 months ago, a year ago, we were worried, and you had mentioned this about the prices of homes just inflating and going up to unbelievable numbers that we haven't seen in recent memory. However, now we've kind of flip-flopped. The rates are going up and prices of homes are going down. So you would have paid higher for a home, paying higher from an interest rate standpoint compared to where it was just 6 months ago. The goal is to get you in a home and create that equity, create that wealth. And then if you have to refinance, refinance. But trying to wait out this to for the rates to go down, you could wait yourself out until the rates continue to go up and not be able to qualify for mortgage. The other thing is it's better to have equity in the property to work with once it does go down so you could lower your rate, but at least you'll be building wealth in the interim.
So, I mean, that was just a teaser of the information that you have to share with folks. So, how can folks find these virtual seminars and your podcast?
Well, we're going to be doing virtual seminars with Washington Informer in October. We're doing I believe, a 3-part series.
Right.
And it's going to be week after week after week. Hopefully you don't get tired of me, but trying to just give you as much information as possible. And you learn, there's so much to learn. You're going to learn about your credit score. So often we hear about the credit score and credit, but this isn't coming from a credit repair person. This is coming from a senior VP with our credit agency that is going to discuss everything about your credit score and how to increase your credit score. What does it mean as far as what your score means? How do you work on your score? And without having to pay some money to do what you could do yourself. So often we pay people $1,000 or whatever just to pay down our credit debts when we could just call up our creditors, pay down the debt. We could use that money that we would have paid that repair person to pay down the debt or even to help us buy a home. You're going to learn on what a pre-qualification means and how to prepare for a pre-qualification. You're going to learn the different types of loans out there. A lot of people still think that you need 20% down to purchase a home, which is crazy. There are 2 types of loans that's 100%. There are loans like FHA loans that you could get that are 3.5% down. Speaking of the 2 types of loans at 100%, a VA loan or USDA loan. So there are options out there that we need to take advantage of. You need to learn programs that are out there that could assist the regular consumer on how they could purchase a home with minimal assets. And that is something that we need to make sure. And how do we qualify for those assets?
So this is great. I mean, what we are jointly talking about collaboration, going to offer to our readers and those who want to learn more will be these virtual seminars and the podcast. So I'm really, really grateful to you, Mr. Joseph, for being on with us today. And we will be promoting the virtual seminar so that folks can go on out there and buy themselves a home or a second home or a third home.
Absolutely. And we appreciate you giving us that opportunity. Because
Wonderful.
it's not only imperative for Town Bank Mortgage to reach out to the communities of color to help shrink the wealth gap, but it's critical banks make this a priority.
Yes. Correct. It definitely. And it's interesting too. I'll just say this in the end. We participated in a conference last weekend. I was so excited to see a room about 70 people, mostly under the age of 40, all who owned a
Oh, very
home,
nice.
half who owned two or more properties, and some of them were
Very nice.
multi-unit buildings. And so there is a future in this next generation
Oh,
who
yeah.
understands the importance of home ownership, but they need the information that you're going to provide. So we look forward
Right.
to sharing that with our
Appreciate
viewers.
you guys. Appreciate you
Thank you.
guys to allowing us to do this. Thank you.
Where do you come to get all you